Joining us right now is former New York City Police Commissioner Bernie Kerik. Bernie, good morning to you.
Good morning, guys.
Before Pat Lynch said the mayor has blood on his hands, you said it.
Look, the mayor, Al Sharpton, for weeks, for months, have been perpetuating a lie. New York City cops are racist. New York City cops are targeting minorities. They don't target minorities. They go into minority communities where the crime is. They reduce crime in those minority communities. They put their lives on the line for those minority communities in a way that they've reduced crime 85% in this city, in those minority communities, saved lives. And the mayor and Sharpton have perpetuated this lie about them being racist, about them targeting minorities. And you now have communities being burnt down. You have officers being attacked, assaulted during protests. You have 2 assassinations, outright assassinations, vengeance assassinations based on a lie that the mayor and Sharpton perpetuated.
With that said, there's a petition right now up to 50,000 signatures to have de Blasio removed from his position. Do you believe that that is the right thing to do, the next step for the city?
I don't feel that the mayor has the ability to lead the city. And I don't feel the mayor has the ability to lead the city because if he did, he wouldn't have perpetuated this. If he did, he wouldn't have promoted lawlessness. If he did, he wouldn't have attacked the cops. If he did, he wouldn't be infusing his son into this issue.
If his son chose to be a cop, he might have been in that car that day. Maybe he might want to bring that up. The other thing is, Commissioner, you have a situation, you have a mayor clearly is over his head, even though he loved his first year in office. You have the cops, who you don't have to be a genius to understand they've totally stopped listening to him. They turned their back on him. They signed a petition, don't show up at my funeral if I'm killed. Having said that, how do you get, if you're Commissioner Bratton right now, how do you get the 2 back together again?
It's not going to be easy. The mayor has to come out. I think personally, I think the mayor has to come out and admit that he was wrong. That he was wrong. That the rhetoric he's been promoting was wrong. Because it's a lie. It is a lie.
But that lie now is creating chaos and more violence toward officers across the nation. We've seen it in Florida, back in Missouri. How do we even get close to restoring order at this point?
The community leaders are real civil rights leaders, not Al Sharpton, real civil rights leaders, real community leaders, real politicians that really care about the constituents they serve. They have to come out and tell the truth.
That's right. So you're saying sooner than later. And, you know, and when you examine the 2 instances, Howard Safir wrote about this in Time magazine. When you look at Eric Garner and Michael Brown, they were resisting arrest. One of them had just robbed a store. What are these 2 officers doing? They're doing their job.
That's right. And that's the problem. The whole Garner and Michael Brown things, that's a lie too. Brown, you know, they have Brown, you know, like he was an innocent child. He was not.
Right. What is the truth that needs to be told?
Cops go out and put their lives on the line every day for the people of this city and around the country. Cops are not racist. Is there racism out there? Yes. Nobody can deny that. But I've seen far more racism against the cops, against the good people of this city than anything the cops have done.
Now, Commissioner, here's something else. Evidently, people from the mayor's office have met with the protest leaders and said, don't protest for the next few days, which means to me they are in total control of what is happening in the streets, which are suffocating our bridges and stopping our traffic.
Listen,
an admission,
forget
too.
that. Look at the economic damage they are causing this city. The millions upon millions in overtime.
For you guys, for cops.
For cops. But what about the businesses in this city that are losing business?
Absolutely.
Enormous, millions of dollars. And the mayor is perpetuating it.
He's allowing, you know, rallies like that to shut down bridges and tunnels. I think it was Rudy over the weekend, he said, look, they can protest, but they should protest in a controlled area where they don't do damage.
That's exactly right. Those are peaceful protests. Running around the city, creating havoc, attacking cops, shutting down pedestrian traffic, vehicular traffic, that's not peaceful protest.
All right. Bernie Kerik, former top cop here in New York City. Thank you very much.